I need a real man, Alex, not some pushover like you. She laughed while humiliating me at a party, so I packed up quietly and detached. Now her controlling affair partner abandoned her isolated and penniless, and she's pleading for help as I flourish. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I'm Alex, 29, a graphic designer in a mid-sized city. For 3 years, I poured everything into my relationship with Rachel. She was a freelance writer, always chasing the next big story, but her gigs were inconsistent. I didn't mind. I loved her ambition, her fire. When she couldn't make rent, I covered it. When she stayed up late stressing over pitches, I'd make coffee and proofread her work. I thought we were a team. But things started shifting 6 months ago. Rachel got a side gig bartending at a trendy spot downtown. She started coming home later, her phone buzzing constantly. She'd laugh it off, saying it was just work friends. I trusted her, but the distance grew. She'd snap at me for small things, like forgetting to buy her favorite coffee creamer or asking about her day. "You're always hovering, Alex," she'd say, rolling her eyes. I'd apologize, thinking I was being too clingy. Then I met Tom, her coworker from the bar. He was loud, all sharp edges and cocky grins, the kind of guy who'd dominate a room and not care who he stepped on. Rachel lit up around him in a way she hadn't with me in months. I'd catch them joking at the bar when I picked her up, her hand lingering on his arm a second too long. My gut twisted, but I pushed it down. She wouldn't do that to me, right? I'd given her everything, late nights, extra shifts to cover her bills, even skipping a promotion to stay in a job with hours that worked for us. The betrayal hit at our friend Mike's house party. It was one of those crowded, sweaty nights, music blaring, cheap beer in red cups. Rachel had been distant all evening, glued to her phone. I was chatting with Mike when she walked over with Tom, her eyes glinting with something I couldn't place. She grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the kitchen, and I thought maybe she wanted to talk. Instead, she stood there, Tom looming behind her, and let me have it in front of everyone. "Alex, you're sweet, but I can't do this anymore," she said, loud enough for heads to turn. "I need someone with ambition, someone who's not afraid to take risks. Tom's a real man, not some pushover who's happy designing logos forever." The room went quiet. My face burned, but I kept my voice steady. "Okay, Rachel, if that's what you want." She laughed, a sharp, cruel sound. "That's it. God, you're so predictable. No wonder I'm bored." Tom smirked, slinging an arm around her. My friend stared, some awkwardly looking away. I wanted to scream, to ask her how she could throw away 3 years like this. I remembered the nights I'd stayed up helping her rewrite articles, the time I sold my old guitar to cover her car repair. But I didn't say any of that. I just nodded, grabbed my jacket, and walked out. The last thing I heard was her laughing with Tom as the door closed behind me. I didn't sleep that night. My phone buzzed with texts from friends, some checking on me, others saying Rachel was just drunk and didn't mean it. I didn't reply. By morning, I knew I needed answers, so I texted her to meet me at our apartment. She showed up an hour late, still in last night's clothes, her makeup smudged but her chin held high. Tom wasn't with her, but his presence hung over us like a shadow. "Rachel, what the hell was that last night?" I asked, keeping my voice even. We were in the living room, surrounded by the life we'd built, my sketches on the walls, her books stacked on the coffee table. She crossed her arms, smirking. "What, Alex? You didn't see this coming? I've been miserable for months. You're so safe, always playing it small, paying bills, making plans. I need more than that. More than me supporting you, covering your rent, staying up to help you meet deadlines." My hands shook, but I kept them in my pockets. She rolled her eyes. "That's exactly it. You think that's enough? I don't want a guy who's just there. Tom's different. He's got fire, ambition. He's going places, and I'm going with him." I stared at her, the woman I'd loved, now twisting everything I'd done into something pathetic. "So you've been cheating with him? For how long?" She shrugged, not even pretending to feel guilty. "A couple months. It's not about cheating, Alex. It's about me choosing a life that excites me. You should want that for me." I wanted to argue, to point out how I'd carried us when her exciting life left her broke. But her words, her smugness, made something click. She wasn't the person I'd fallen for. Maybe she never was. "So you're leaving?" I said, not a question. "Yeah, I'm crashing with Tom for now. I'll get my stuff this week." She paused, her voice softening just enough to sting. You'll be fine, Alex. You always are. I didn't respond. I just watched her grab her purse and walk out, her heels clicking on the hardwood. The door shut, and the silence hit like a punch. I sat on the couch, staring at the sketches we'd hung together, feeling the weight of her words. Pushover, predictable, safe. Was she right? Had I been fooling myself, thinking kindness was enough? I didn't cry. I didn't call her. I just started packing my things. By the end of the day, I'd found a cheap studio apartment across town. I blocked her number, unfollowed her on socials, and told our friends I didn't want updates. Whatever life Rachel thought she was chasing, I wasn't going to be her backup plan. The first few weeks after Rachel left were a blur of silence and self-doubt. I settled into my new studio apartment, a cramped but clean space with bare walls and a single window overlooking a quiet street. No more of her books cluttering the shelves. No more late-night typing from her laptop. It was just me, and for the first time in years, that felt both terrifying and freeing. I threw myself into work. My graphic design job had always been steady, but I'd put off pursuing bigger projects to keep things balanced for us. Now, with no one to come home to, I pitched ideas to clients I'd been too cautious to approach before. One landed, a branding gig for a local startup. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well and gave me a sense of purpose. Still, at night, her words echoed. Pushover, predictable, safe. Was that really me? Had I been holding her back, or was I just the stable one she took for granted? To shake off the fog, I joined a gym near my apartment. I'd never been much for working out. Rachel used to tease me about my dad bod, even though I was only 29. But now, it was something I could control. The first sessions were brutal, weights clanging, sweat pouring, my muscles screaming. I'd stare at myself in the mirror, red-faced and gasping, and wonder if this was what she meant by real man. No, I told myself, this wasn't for her. It was for me. As the weeks turned into months, things started shifting. The gym became a routine, 3 times a week, pushing a little harder each time. I dropped a few pounds, built some muscle, and for the first time, I felt strong, not just in body but in mind. Mutual friends reached out cautiously. Mike, from the party, invited me to a game night. Dude, we miss you, he said. Rachel's, well, whatever. Come hang. I went, and it was awkward at first, people avoiding her name like a landmine. But soon we were laughing over board games, and I realized I had a life outside of her. Internally, though, the confusion lingered. I'd have moments of vulnerability, like when I found an old photo of us on my phone, smiling at a beach trip I'd planned to surprise her. I'd sacrificed a freelance gig for that weekend, just to make her happy. Why wasn't that enough? I'd sit on my couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying the breakup. Her laugh, Tom's smirk. It hurt, but I didn't lash out. No drunk texts, no social media stalking. I deleted her from my life digitally and mentally, as much as I could. One night, after a tough gym session, I sat in my car and let it all hit me. The unfairness of it, the way she'd publicly humiliated me, dismissed everything I'd given. Tears came then, hot and angry, but they cleared something. I wasn't a pushover, I was kind, reliable. And if that wasn't exciting enough for her, that was her loss. From then on, my internal voice changed. No more was I not enough. It became, I'm enough for myself. I started saying yes to things, a hiking trip with coworkers, a design workshop downtown. Life wasn't perfect, but it was mine. I heard whispers about Rachel through the grapevine, friends mentioning she'd moved in with Tom fully, posting vague, happy updates online. I avoided looking, but the rumors trickled in. They were thriving, traveling on weekends. It stung, but I kept my head down. No confrontation, no begging for closure. I just kept building, stronger body, sharper skills, deeper friendships. Little by little, the confusion faded, replaced by a quiet calm. I was moving forward, even if it felt slow. About 4 months in, the cracks started showing. It began with a text from a mutual friend, Sarah, not to be confused with Rachel, warning me that things weren't going well for my ex. Hey Alex, just FYI, Rachel and Tom had a huge fight at the bar last week. He's been yelling at her in front of customers. Thought you should know in case she reaches out. I thanked her but didn't pry. I wasn't interested in their drama. I detached for a reason. Then the messages started. First, a casual one from Rachel, slipping through because I hadn't blocked her work number. Hey Alex, been a while. How are you? Miss chatting. I stared at it, feeling a mix of annoyance and pity. Miss chatting? After humiliating me? I deleted it without replying. A week later, another. Look, I know I hurt you, but can we talk? Things with Tom aren't what I thought. He's intense. I could use a friend. Excuses already. Her twisted logic peeking through, acting like I owed her support after everything. I blocked that number too. But she didn't stop. She used a friend's phone next. It's Rachel. Please, Alex. I messed up. Tom's not the guy I imagined. He's controlling, always checking my phone, yelling over nothing. I feel trapped. I could picture her, typing desperately, but it didn't move me. She'd chosen him, mocked me for being safe. Now his fire was burning her, and she wanted my stability back? No. The real escalation came from her family. Her sister, Lisa, called me one evening while I was at the gym, cooling down after a set. I didn't recognize the number, but answered anyway. Alex? It's Lisa, Rachel's sister. I paused, wiping sweat from my face. What do you want, Lisa? She launched right in, her voice sharp and accusatory. What do I want? My sister's falling apart, and you're ignoring her like she doesn't exist. Tom's a jerk. He's been screaming at her, taking her money, isolating her from everyone. She needs help, and you're just, what, too proud to answer. I kept my tone even, though my pulse quickened. Lisa, Rachel made her choice. She left me publicly, called me a pushover. I'm not responsible for her anymore. Oh, come on, she snapped. You were always the nice guy. Now you're heartless? She regrets it, okay? Just talk to her. Help her get out. Regrets don't erase what she did, I said calmly. And I'm not heartless. I'm protecting myself. Don't call again. I hung up, my hands steady. Her family's toxicity was clear now, always enabling Rachel, blaming others. Mutual friends started pulling away from her too. Mike told me over coffee that Tom's abuse had gone public. A blowout at the bar where he shoved her during an argument, leading to her getting fired. Friends who defended her at first were done. She's alone now, man, Mike said. Tom dumped her last week, said she was too needy. She's couch surfing, broke as hell. Karma, I guess. But I didn't gloat. I just kept going to the gym, landing more clients, feeling the weight lift. Rachel's messages turned angrier. Fine, ignore me. You're proving I was right, you're weak. It exposed her true colors, but by then, she was just noise. I'd sat with the betrayal long enough. Now, I was rising above it. The messages didn't let up. After the angry ones, Rachel swung back to pleading, her texts flooding in from new numbers she'd borrow or create. Alex, please. I'm sorry. I was wrong about everything. Tom was a mistake. He took all my savings, left me with nothing. I know I hurt you, but can't we just talk? I need you. Her hypocrisy shone through. The same woman who'd called me weak, now begging for my strength. I read them once, then deleted, focusing on my routine, work, gym, building a life that didn't include her. Her family ramped up the pressure. Lisa called again, this time from a different number, catching me as I was leaving a client meeting. I answered, thinking it was a work contact. Alex, don't hang up, she barked. Rachel's in a bad place. She's sleeping on friends' couches, can't find a job because of the bar incident. Tom's gone, and she's realizing what she lost. You're the only one who can help her get back on her feet. I stopped in the parking lot, the sun beating down. Lisa, I've said this before. Rachel chose her path. She humiliated me, left me for Tom. Why is this my problem? Because you loved her, Lisa shouted, her voice cracking with frustration. Or was that all an act? You're acting like some cold bastard now, ignoring her when she's desperate. She cries about you every night. Just meet her, hear her out, be the man she needs. Her words twisted like a knife, blaming me, guilting me into saving Rachel from her own choices. But I learned my lesson. Lisa, I'm not her savior. And I'm done with this family drama. Block my number. I hung up, my heart steady. No sympathy, no second guessing. Her toxicity only confirmed why I'd walked away. A few days later, Rachel escalated in person. I was at my office, wrapping up a design review with my team, when the receptionist buzzed me. There's a Rachel here to see you. Says it's urgent. I sighed, knowing this was coming. I met her in the lobby, where she stood disheveled, hair messy, eyes red from crying. She looked smaller, broken, nothing like the confident woman who'd laughed in my face at the party. Alex, she rushed forward, grabbing my arm. Thank God. I've been trying to reach you. I messed up so bad. Tom was abusive. He controlled everything, spent my money, then kicked me out when I confronted him. I'm staying with a friend, but it's temporary. I know I was cruel, but I was confused. You were always so good to me. Can we start over? Please. Her voice trembled, desperation pouring out. She was unraveling, her excuses thin, blaming Tom, minimizing what she'd done to me. I pulled my arm away gently, keeping my expression neutral. Rachel, I don't have time for this. I'm at work. But Alex, she pressed, tears welling. Don't you care? I thought you loved me. I realize now you're the real man, the stable one. Tom's fire was just destruction. Let me make it right. I looked at her, seeing the hypocrisy, praising my safety, now that her excitement had burned her. Rachel, you made your decision. I've moved on. You need to do the same. She stepped back, anger flashing. So that's it. You're just going to leave me like this? Fine, be that way. You're proving I was right. You're heartless under all that niceness. I didn't respond. I just nodded to the receptionist and walked back to my office. Her words bounced off me. I was focused on my projects, my growth. She stormed out, but the attempts didn't stop. More texts, more calls from her circle. Each one exposed her true colors, desperate, manipulative, unwilling to own her actions. But I stayed detached, protecting the peace I'd built. A month later, it all came to a head at the gym. I'd been consistent, 5 days a week now, my body transformed. Leaner, stronger, more confident. Other members nodded at me, some even asking for tips. It was my sanctuary, a place where I felt in control. I was midway through a set of deadlifts when I saw her, Rachel, standing by the entrance, scanning the room. She spotted me and headed over, weaving through the equipment. She looked even worse, tired eyes, rumpled clothes, like she hadn't slept in days. Alex, she said, her voice low but urgent. People nearby glanced over, but I kept lifting, finishing my reps before setting the bar down. What are you doing here, Rachel? I wiped my hands on a towel, my tone flat. I had to see you. I tracked you down, asked around. Look at you, you've changed. Her eyes flicked over my frame, a mix of surprise and regret. I was so wrong. Tom's gone for good. He left me broke, alone. My friends ditched me after hearing about the fights. Even Lisa says I screwed up. But you're thriving. Please, give me another chance. I see now what I lost. A good man, stable, kind. We can rebuild. She reached out, but I stepped back. Her plea was frantic, laced with anger at her own downfall. Don't do this to me, Alex. You can't just erase us. I know you think about me. Let's fix it. I'll change, I swear. I looked at her, feeling nothing but detachment. She was irrelevant now, a ghost from a past I'd outgrown. The gym buzzed around us, weights clanging, people chatting, and in that moment, the reversal hit her. Me, strong and composed. Her, desperate and small. Rachel, there's nothing to fix, I said calmly. You chose excitement over stability, mocked me for who I am. I've built a life without you, one with work I love, friends who respect me, and peace I protect. You're not part of that anymore. It's over. Her face twisted, anger bubbling up. You think you're better than me now? Look at you, all muscled up, acting superior. I made a mistake, okay? But ignoring me like this? That's cruel. You were supposed to be the nice guy. I shook my head, unfazed. I'm not cruel. I'm done. Go figure out your life. Don't come back here. She stood there, tears streaming, as a trainer walked by and clapped me on the shoulder. Nice form on those lifts, Alex. Rachel's eyes widened, seeing the contrast, my new world, her exclusion. She turned and left, shoulders slumped, without another word. That was it. No drama, no lingering hurt. I'd moved on completely, her attempts powerless against the man I'd become. Life kept going. Better jobs, real connections, a future untainted by her betrayal. She was just a lesson now, irrelevant, forgotten. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.